In this class, we are going to show you how to get your gel polish cuticle application from this, where there is an obvious gap, to this, for a picture perfect cuticle finish even on the shortest of nails. In just a few simple steps you can get a gel polish finish like this, and I will now show you how to achieve it.
When we look at a customer's hand, we know that our customers don't come in with perfect, flawless nails. We want to get the best results on nails just like this. So I'm going to use myself as a model to demonstrate how we can make short, standard client nails like this look flawless. The first step, I'm going to choose this worst nail here. The first step is your cuticle prep. So first of all, we are going to take the KB double-ended cuticle tool and we are going to push this cuticle growth back at a 45-degree angle. So we are going up and down and side to side to remove as much of that cuticle growth off the nail plate as possible. We're now going to take the other side, the cuticle knife side, and we're just going to remove anything extra off that nail plate. Now I'm taking a firm, stiff dusting brush here, and this is just going to remove any of the dust from the cuticle growth that we have removed. Now we are going to take the KB curved cuticle scissors and we are going to remove any excess cuticle that is left. So if we look here, we can see we've got some cuticle peeking up from under the eponychium. So what we need to be aware of, we don't want to be removing this living tissue here. This is there to protect the nail, and it's important that we don't remove all of this. So to use these, we're going to come in, and these are like tweezers. So we are going to get what we need to remove in the scissors, and we are going to turn the blade so it faces upwards, and we are going to just cut, and you can see that tissue come away. And we are going to continue. And if you need to go back to your cuticle tool, that's no issue, because sometimes cuticle can hide, so you can just go back with the cuticle pusher and repeat the steps as necessary. So you will see this skin is quite dehydrated. I've been over washing my hands and really not actually taking very good care of them at all. So you will see what a difference something like cuticle oil makes when we then finish this nail as well. So there's just a little hangnail here, so I'm just going to again remove that. And we are going to push back again. So it's really important that you do this second push back before we apply any gel polish. This is because this cuticle tissue, by the time we've done all 10 nails, will have potentially bounced back a little bit. So we want to reveal as much of that nail bed and plate as possible. First of all, I'm going to now take the compact base. So this is a builder gel in a bottle. One of my favourite ones is the Crystal Nails Compact Base Gel. This colour is Milky Rose and it's a slightly translucent pink. So what we are going to do, we are now going to place this on the nail. I find by using a product like this as my base, it smooths out the nail plate. We're going to take the gel and we are going to circle on the inside of the lid and we are going to wipe the excess off like this. Try and avoid wiping like this, because what it will do is the product will slip down the side of the bottle and then you will actually get issues with closing your bottle and premature curing inside the bottle, and it will just make a mess. So I've just taken a little bit of this and I'm going to place it onto the nail. I'm going to fan my brush and I'm going to push it towards the cuticle zone come back, slide around to one side, turn the brush and slide around to the other side. So I'm just creating a little bit of a slip layer here because I find it easier when I'm working with the Builder Bottle Gel. Now some Builder Bottle Gel brands will require you to use a primer or a Builder Base Gel, various products. Make sure that whatever brand you are using, you are following your manufacturer's instructions as you are working. So I'm taking a slightly larger bead of this product now and I'm just pressing it on to that apex zone. I'm actually going to take a little bit more, so I'm going to repeat that step again. I'm pressing it on. You can see I've got that string from the gel. Just turn your brush. Now what we're going to do is take a fine line brush. So this one is the Hazel Dixon Gel Art number 1 and it's tiny as you can see, and I really like working with this when I'm working around the cuticle zone. A lot of nail technicians will prefer to work with a long brush. It is your preference, and have a go with different brushes to see what suits you best. So what I'm now going to do is take my brush and work with it like it was a hard gel. And I'm coming up and down and side to side, tickling it and using the very tip of my brush. You can see where it's self-leveled on this side a little bit more. I'm actually going to just take it right to that sidewall. And now I'm going to take some of that product across to the other side. You can see that this product is very self-leveling, and it's great because what it will do, it will smooth out any lumps and bumps in that natural nail and help give you a flawless finish at the cuticle and over the whole entire nail. So I'm using that tip of the brush at the side, coming all the way down to the free edge. And now I'm also going to take this brush and place it gently around that cuticle area to get it nice and close. What you can do if you need, you can turn the product upside down like this and work with your brush from upside down if you need to create more of an apex. So I'm quite happy with the way this grows up, but if you've got quite flat nails, such as these ones, you could turn it upside down to create more apex. You can do this in 1 or 2 beads, whatever your preference is. It's always better to do thinner layers than too thick to ensure your product cures. So once I'm happy with that, the very last stage is just gently capping that free edge. And you can see by using such a tiny brush, I am able to do this on such a short nail. Once that is cured, you want to check the apex, check the thickness of the product and see that you are happy with the application. If you feel you need an additional layer, please repeat the steps as previous. Now I'm going to use cleanser. So this is the Crystal Nails Cleanser, Cinnamon and Plum Scent, one of my favourite, and I'm going to spray this on to a lint-free wipe. I'm now going to remove the dispersion layer off this compact base gel. And I am now either going to file it with a 240 grit file or just refine it with a 220-280 spongy buffer. So even though it's a very self-leveling product, there will always be a little bit of an inconsistency where the product has self-leveled. So it's really important that you refine this product, whether it be with a file or a buffer. So how I do this is I pull the skin open and I use my finger and I polish the product. This ensures that the highest point meets the lowest point of the product, and I'm not just guessing where there are lumps and bumps, because this won't give me a flawlessly smooth nail. So if we show you from the side, you can see I'm just polishing this nail with the buffer. The cuticle zone, I come around like this. And use your finger to feel. So it was just a very small refinement that the product needed. That is now ready for the colour. So I'm taking my firm dusting brush. The reason I use a firm dusting brush rather than a soft one is it really removes all the dust. So this is now ready for the gel polish colour application. So I'm going to take a mixing palette here. So this was made for me by somebody at the Be Inspired event. I'm going to use the Crystal Nails 3-step Crystal-Lac in 3S77. So this is one of my favourite colours. It's a beautiful turquoise green, and it's going to be easy for you to see my application by using a dark colour. So I'm now going to place a small amount of this colour on my mixing palette. This could be the back of form paper, it could be an old kitchen tile, it could be some aluminium foil or anything like that that you can work from. So I'll just place that down. I previously cleaned my fine line brush from using the Builder Gel. And depending on the timing between when you did your Builder Gel and you're doing your gel polish, I would recommend just pushing back another time. And again, the reason we keep pushing back is it reveals more of the nail plate so we can get the closest application possible. So I'm now taking my brush and I'm going to roll it through the colour. Make sure that the whole entire brush isn't covered in gel, and also that you don't come onto the metal handle. The reason for this is you'll end up damaging your brush. So roll it through. Make sure you're happy with it. And then when you're working on a customer, you can actually, if you need them to, you can get them to pull this area back, or if you are able to do so and paint at the same time, you can do this. As you can see, my fingers are quite flexible, so working on myself, I am actually able to do this. So I am going to bring my brush and I'm placing it as close as I can to that cuticle zone, and I'm just very slowly creating a frame. Don't worry about this being perfect at the moment, we will tidy it up shortly. Just make sure that you do not get this product on the skin. Once the product is on the skin, it will, especially if using a dark colour, it will stain and it will cause issues with allergies, as we know that is rife in the industry at the moment. Coming all the way around here and up these side walls, because that can be an area which you can easily miss as well. And repeating on the other side. Because this is quite a short nail, I'm going to come all the way up that one side wall. So you can see that I have created a frame, and you can see how close it is. I'm now going to roll my brush through the gel again and just neaten this up and making sure it's the same thickness. On the second time, you can actually use your brush to push even closer. Make sure that your product that you're using, your gel polish, isn't hugely self-leveling. If it is, you need to draw this technique a little bit further away from the cuticle, because by nature of it being self-leveling, it will run towards the cuticle naturally anyway. And what we don't want and what we want to avoid is getting any product on the skin, as this will affect your neat finish. So this technique will come with practice, and you'll get closer and closer each time that you practice. And you can see just how close that product is to the cuticle zone. So once we've created our frame, we're going to just paint the nail as normal. So I'm taking the gel polish, again repeating the removal on the inside only. And where I started to create the frame, I'm going to join this up. And I'm going to paint this nail as normal. I'm keeping the layers nice and thin. It's important to do this to ensure a correct cure and also to get a smooth, flawless finish. Pulling that skin open, and I'm taking my time. I'm working slowly, I'm not rushing. With gel polish, so I'm just capping that free edge, and you can do that with your fine line brush if you're not confident doing it with your brush, especially on such a short nail. All gel polish will need to self-level, so it's important to just let this settle slightly before it goes in the lamp. So you could take your fine line brush like this and just cap that free edge. And if you feel that that frame just needs a little bit more product, you can do this before it goes inside the lamp to cure. This first coat will take the longest because this is your foundation for all the remaining layers. So once you're happy with that and it's nice and even, you're going to cure that for 30 seconds or whatever your recommended manufacturer instructions are for the brand that you are using. Once that first coat is cured, we are going to repeat the steps again. Now personally, I don't do a second framework because I find I can get this just right in my first, but if you want to do this, feel free. I'm going to go straight on to my second application with my brush. So I place it here, I fan the brush out, and I push towards that cuticle zone. And I swing around the side. And you can see I'm working nice and slowly, and I'm just massaging this gel polish into the nail. All the way to the free edge. And cap that free edge. Let the product settle. With gel polish as well, don't feel that you can't do this upside down as well. And sometimes to cap the free edge, it can be easier to do it from underneath like this. Or again, bring your fine line brush in to do it. Once that's level and you're happy with that application, cure in the lamp. Once your second layer has cured, check over and see that you are happy with the coverage. Different brands, different colours will have different levels of pigment, so you will need to potentially do 3 layers with different colours and brands. I'm happy with the coverage of the 2 coats, so I'm now going to go on with my top coat. So this is Crystal Nails Cool Top Gel, and this is the matching top coat to use with this brand. Make sure that you do use matching brands when you are using your base, your colour and your top coat. So repeating the same steps, removing the excess from the inside only. Taking our brush, got a drip. Taking our brush, placing it here, fanning it out, pushing it slowly towards the cuticle zone, pulling back. If you've got a little bit much on your brush, you could just take it off, because what you don't want that doing is flooding the skin. Round to one side. Repeating on the other. Again, you can see I'm working nice and slowly and taking my time. Just like the colours, let this product just self-level ever so slightly. Check from all the different angles that you have covered the colour with your top coat. And once you're happy with that, that is going to cure in the lamp for the manufacturer's recommended time. Once that is cured, depending on the top coat that you have used, we are going to wipe the dispersion layer if it's one with a wipe. The one that I use is a no wipe top coat, so there is no need to remove that dispersion layer. If you're removing that dispersion layer, it is important that you do wait for this product to cool ever so slightly before doing so to avoid any dulling to your top coat. We're now going to finish this nail with Cuticle Oil. So this is a Moki Nails Melamania Cuticle Oil. It smells delicious. There's so many lovely scents and flavours in the range, so you should check them out. Just like the top coats, it is important to make sure that you just let this product cool. So this is a no wipe top coat, so I can use my finger just very lightly, because we don't want to dull it, to check that the heat has gone out of this from the lamp. Once you've done so, we are just going to take a very small amount of cuticle oil and place that on the skin. We are then going to take a lint-free wipe, or actually I prefer a piece of the IKEA napkin, and we are just going to polish this right into the nail, the skin, underneath that hypericium. And we are just going to polish that right in to the skin and the hypericium. You can hear that nice squeak, and that is what we want to achieve. We don't want to leave a lot of cuticle oil around the skin, because what that's going to do is dull the nail. And we can now see, or you can see how the light's hitting it, how super shiny that is. If you want to make sure you've hydrated every little bit, you can also get in the corners with one of those eyelash micro ones to hydrate. Here's the finished nail, and you can see just how close that cuticle application is, and how much length that we have put on this short nail. So we've gone from this to this.